at Dublin Zoo today, so we're going to take you around Dublin Zoo and show you around the place and what it's like in 2025. So I know they've one or two new animals. For example, there's a new cheetah up here up the back, so hopefully we get to see them today. Other than that, we'll see our regular friends, the elephants, the lions, the macaque monkeys. Hopefully they're all out and they're all playing. So let's take a look around and see what you think. If you like the video, subscribe if you haven't already. Other than that, just hit the like button. It helps me out an awful lot. So let's go over and let's get inside and see what the crack is. Well, folks, so much easier just to pay online, isn't it? Just walk straight in, no queues. I can see the macaques are out. Well, one of them is anyway. Just walking across the bridge there. And also, that's cute. And a couple of seagulls. It doesn't look like the orangutans are up in their tree over there. But sure, we'll walk around and we'll have a look. So Dublin Zoo was founded in 1830 and it was opened in 1831. So it's classed as one of the oldest zoos in Europe. I think the Austrian Zoo is a bit older, and the British Museum as well. But I love this place. And there's a tough duck. How you know he's a tough duck is because he's got that little piece of hair on the back of his head. You join me, little thing. But now we're first, of course, for any of you that hasn't been here before. You get drinks. There's a shop in there. There's the toilets. So when you come in, you just turn to the left and walk around. There's also the zoo souvenir shop. Now, the last time I was up here, they were changing things around, and I think they were extending the tigers and the lions. I don't know whether they done that. I know they gave another area to the lion, so let's go and have a look and see if we can see anything. There's a couple of wood pigeons in there. I don't think they'd last too long. When most people think of lions, they think of the African species. However, there's also a lion subspecies that lives in Asia, the Asian lion. The Asian lion's fur ranges from pale brown to grey in colour. And like all cats, they have powerful, tractable claws and long, sharp canine the Asian lions doing very well. I do apologise if I'm breathing. I do breathe quite heavily. Shorter, darker males, and the tassel on the end of the tail is actually longer than their African cousins. But one of the most notable features, as you can see here with the two sisters, is that the Asian lion actually has a folded skin that runs along its belly. The African lions do not have this. Yeah, you'll see later on in the video, you'll actually see the mother. But yeah, these are the two sisters. Next up, we've got the Amur Tiger. I don't know, this beautiful guy is an Amur Tiger. But I prefer his original name, the Siberian Tiger. It just looks like a big, cuddly kitty cat. Here he is, just clean as buzz. But when he snaps those big, beautiful eyes, it's kind of a little fear response in you. But yeah, he can get you. The macaques. Sulawesi macaques to be 100% accurate. These guys are monkeys. But a lot of people actually think that they're apes because it looks like they don't have any tail. They actually do. They have a very, very small tail. Sometimes it's actually just a vesicle of a tail. You know, it's actually inside them. But these guys are monkeys. They come from Sulawesi in the islands in Indonesia, in particular the northeastern point of the island and its neighbouring islands. There's also a large introduced population living on the Pua back on them. It's absolutely butchering that name. They live in the lowland mountain tropical forests. The lifespan for these guys is between 18 years in the wild and up to 34 years in Dublin Zoo, in any zoo. But they've got amazing dexterity and amazing strength. And look at the way he was hanging off the bridge. But I just love the mohawk that these guys have. They're really, really cute. The Dholes actually live in Bangladesh, Bhutan, Cambodia, China, India, Indonesia, Laos, Malaysia, Myanmar, Nepal and Thailand. They're related to foxes and also wolves. They are beautiful looking. They're not very big. Gibbon species and a group of lesser apes found in Asia. The Siamang gibbon and a cute little baby gibbon here. I remember it was only about 6-7 months ago. He was only a little bundle of joy in his mother's arms. But now look at him, up with mischief, messing around and annoying his mother and standing all over his mother. They're just coming on in leaps and bounds. These guys are actually they're found in the islands of Sumatra, Malaysia, and in small parts of Thailand. They actually prefer, other than clinging into their mammy for warmth, because it's actually quite cold out today, they prefer to spend their time in trees rather than on the forest floor. And when they're that young, they love being carried around by their mother. Now let me introduce you to, it's kind of sad because there's only two ladies left. Because Cebu died there last year, and the last gift to Dublin Zoo that Cebu gave. Here's one of the ladies there. Cebu was the male orangutan for over 45 years in the zoo. Well, 40 years in the zoo. He was 45 when he died. And these two ladies miss him big time. That's what the zookeepers tell me. I was talking to them when I was up there, and they said that both of them still missed them. But orangutans absolutely fascinate me because their movements and the way they go on, the way they see the world, so much like us, but so different. Like, I don't know how anyone could ever hurt one of these guys. I don't know how anyone could hurt animals in general, but that's completely beside the point. There was 19-year-old Murja, it's M-U-R-J-U-R, gave birth to a healthy male infant. That would have been her third one, but the other two infants died and she wasn't feeding this one. So the zoo arranged, I don't know how they done this, but the zoo arranged for over 30 mothers to come up who were pregnant, who were after giving birth themselves, and who are breastfeeding, and actually sit there and breastfeed their babies in front of the orangutans. So then, because the orangutans in general actually have a great way of learning. Unlike chimpanzees who will make things up themselves, orangutans, the three subspecies of orangutans, actually learn by looking at other people doing it. And what people who work with orangutans have seen is that they actually learn, but you show them something, you do it a couple of times, they'll pick up that behaviour and then they'll turn around and teach that behaviour to the young. So with that in mind, that's what Dublin Zoo did. They turned around, they got in 30 months. This just fascinates me. Sorry, I'll get back to that in a second. The keeper turned around and said to her, "Do you want some food?" like he was throwing her a couple of treats. Fruit to her are big time treats. So what happens is if somebody throws something over at them, she would rather bring that, I don't know, object or whatever else to the keepers and say, here, give me fruit. That's what he was telling me. But however, back to, so they brought in 30 mothers who were breastfeeding and sat them down in front of the animals. She just got hit in the head. Sat in front of her and breastfed her baby, so to try and teach her how to breastfeed. But sadly, she didn't take up to it. So what they had to do is they had to bring the baby over to an orphanage over in the UK for little babies. Up now, we've got the red crested lemur. These guys are the largest lemur on the island of Madagascar. They're only found in Madagascar, nowhere else in the world. They're amazing. There's over 107 different species. We'll be seeing another species now in a minute of the lemurs. These guys are so cute and so cool. The way that they've evolved separately on the island of Madagascar with no influence from anything else. This is the way all the species, and there's so much diversity in the species. What they love doing is they love biting the bark off the trees, and then when the sap comes out, that's like honey to them. It's a sweet nectar of the gods, as a man says, for these guys. We're coming up now to the ringtail lemurs. The ringtail lemurs is probably the most well-known and beloved of all the lemur species because they're the ones most heavily put into zoos. Don't worry, even though I'm looking in through the glass, you can see them up there in the top left-hand corner. We'll see them perfectly now in a minute. So, both species are one of the noisiest of all in the zoo. Just around here on the right hand side, just some footage there now. Sadly, you'll see a lot of kind of different footage compared to me walking around today. It's just that it was so cold that hardly any of the animals were out, so I just had to throw in some footage of the ringtail lemurs there. Do you know, 13 rings in all of them? Let's go see the flamingos, as I said. So the flamingos have an area to themselves, and they're actually after all building on wood nests. So it's just straight down here on the right through the gates. And then they've got a big area, big enclosure. So down there is not much, just a seating area, and in here, as I said, it's just a double doors. I'm just trying to get in with a camera and a stand, so it's a little difficult. But in here, now all the brown piles that will be coming up, and all the brown piles that will be coming, as I said here, they're starting to build them wood nests. That's where they're all going to lay their eggs, and that's them all together. How they actually get their pinky colour is from crustaceans, from what they eat. So if they eat crustaceans, that's where they get their pink colour from. There's only two reasons why a Chilean flamingo would be more white than pink. Is one, depending on what they're eating, and number two, if they're female after giving birth, they give everything to their young. So that's the reason why the females will actually turn from pink shade to a white shade, is because they're after giving all the nutrients and everything to their young. This was the first time, you're probably not going to believe this, was the first time ever I've seen a flamingo actually washing themselves. I've seen them standing there drinking, and they're drinking in a really weird way because they're backwards. But they're filter feeders, so they'll take up a big thing of water and then filter it out through their beak. The water will come out, and wherever crustacean or wherever else is left in there, that's what they eat. So there they are in the right picture there. He's drying the other two in the background are actually still washing themselves. I stood here for over half an hour actually looking at these guys doing this. We've got a half an hour pure footage of these guys, and I just had to edit it down to maybe a minute or two, because I didn't particularly think you guys actually wanted to sit here and look at this for a half an hour. But no, whenever there's three of them now washing themselves, even though he's only out there trying to try his wings. But I've seen flamingos a couple of times, but thankfully I've never actually seen them this pink, so they're really well fed up here at the zoo. They've got the right food. There he is shaking himself off. And same with all animals. You'd rather see them in the wild than you would in captivity, because even though they're in a big enclosure, there's a lot of them and they can't fly too well. So here's another angle. Goodbye to the flamingos, hello to the next one. So down here, and definitely can't forget that. Wait for 2 minutes we did. So when you go down here, actually on the left there, if you go up that way, you'll actually get to see the sea lions. Completely forgot to go up and see the sea lions, but I do a video on my channel, 2 videos, which will look after the sea lions. So I linked it in the description, a whole playlist of all the different animals in the zoo. This originally was the red panda's home, but they moved them to a new location, so we'll be picking that up now in a few minutes. These guys upcoming are the Sacared ibis. They have an amazing backstory. The fact that they're still extinct in Egypt is fascinating. Their history have been intertwined with us since the time of the Egyptians. Even earlier, because it's actually legend that the Sacared ibis was one of the first birds that Noah released from the ark as a symbol of fertility, and the lingering religious sentiment in Turkey helped the colonies there to survive long after the demise of the species in Europe and in Egypt. The ibis was revered as a holy bird and a symbol of brilliance and splendour in ancient Egypt, where together with the Sacared ibis it was regarded as the embodiment of the god Thoth, the scribe of the gods, who was usually depicted with a man's body in the head of an ibis. The old Egyptian word ak, to be resplendent to shine, was denoted in hieroglyphs by a bald ibis, presumably as a reference to the glossy plumage, and more in abstract sense stood for excellence, glory, honour and virtue. It also has been used to signify the soul or the spirit, one of the 5 elements constituting personality. They're really, really weird looking because they've got beautiful iridescent colours, but still they have bald heads. And they also remind me of the lads that used to go around in the playgrounds. They stood all outdoors and everything, you know, because that's a beautiful play. Up next, sadly, he was asleep and he didn't want to go instead. But now, one of the favourite cats in twice. Once I put out a short video and this time. So I do have a video of upcoming probably next week of these guys, which will have more information on where they're from, any areas and things like that. But I just thought I would stick in this little bit of this snippet of video for you to see. They are so beautiful. Sadly, these guys are endangered, like nearly everywhere. leave me alone. Everyone thinks that the red panda is related to the giant panda, but they're actually not. They just come from the same forests in China, same areas in China. But these were actually discovered first, if I'm not mistaken, or was it the other way around? Do me a favour, just remind me down in the comments there, if you can, which one was actually discovered first. Was it a giant panda, the big black and white giant panda, or was it these little guys? I literally can't remember. But they are one of the cute, like they are one of the cutest. They were taken as a symbol of Firefox, the red panda, the internet browser. These guys are actually the only species. They're just on their own, and the word panda actually derives from the meaning of bamboo eater. Now we're going to go up. There's a new enclosure up here, just in here on the left, and brand new enclosure for the male and the female lioness. And the female lioness is actually the mother to the two lionesses that we've seen earlier on. There she is there. But as I said, they're Asian lionesses. You know that by the long streak of fur on her belly. But she is beautiful. She's amazing looking. These can only be found in Gir National Park in India, where they're actually protected. Now, don't be afraid of the dark when you go in here. This is an eye. He's actually a lemur, and he's the only nocturnal lemur that's actually on the planet. They're really, really weird looking, because they've got a really long finger. They don't look like any other lemurs. Now, when you go past the eye, you've got a whole seating area that you can go and get food, and you've got a couple of toilets, and you've got a couple of restaurants. But if you keep walking straight and walk up here, just a little detour, we'll go down and see the Humboldt penguins. Just down here on the left-hand side. This is the little area for them. It's kind of a very small enclosure, but you know, they've got a little pool down here, and there's not that many of them. So maybe the enclosure's just about big enough for them. And then after this one, we'll go up and see the African. We'll go up to the African plains. And they're all out up in the African plains today anyway, so which is great. Fun fact about the Humboldt penguin: they actually come from Chile and Peru, and they live between 15 to 20 years in zoos. When you think of penguins, you always think of ice, cold, snow. But no, these guys come from the heat, and they live off of rocks on the coastlines of Chile and Peru. So they like the heat. But next up, we've got the African plains. And the African plains is just straight up here. I didn't film the whole walk up to the African plains, and also the lads, the hippos weren't out either, so I didn't film them. But I keep on calling these ibexes. They're not. They're scimitar horned oryx. These guys were actually, it's one of the success stories of the European breeding program. These guys were completely extinct in the wild. Now, thanks to the European breeding program and other breeding programs, they're actually now being reintroduced to certain parts of Africa. So they're going back out into the wild. Rothschild giraffe. How you know it's a Rothschild giraffe is from the knees down, they're white. These guys, with some other giraffe species, they're all, these guys are a subspecies of the northern giraffe, but see the way all from their knees down, they're all like completely white hair. Yeah, some of the other subspecies, they'll have patterns all the way down, so that's how you know that they're actually Rothschild giraffes. There's about 3 different names, like the Kenyan giraffe, which will just depict exactly where they're from in Africa. But the reason why they called them the Rothschild giraffe was because Rothschild was an explorer, among other things. And he's the one that depicted them back into Europe in around the 1800s. Most notably also in that build is the common zebra, and as I said, the scimitar horned oryx. The reason why they're called the scimitar is because their horns are so shaped like a scimitar. Next up, a young little lady thinking that she can get the best of her mother. Yeah, I stood there for about 45 minutes filming these guys, because the southern white rhino. Well, folks, as far as I know, the silverback in Dublin Zoo is the largest one in Europe, and he's coming up now. I think before him is the chimpanzees, so we'll go and we'll take a look at both of them now. We're just after coming from the rhinos in the African plains, and now we're just after cutting across. So there's no cages, no nothing. They just live on an island, as you can see there, and they're just surrounded by water, because chimps and also gorillas don't like water. They don't think they can swim, so they've got a fear of water, so they won't go near it. They'll drink it, but they won't swim in it. So that's one thing zoos realise: you don't need to put them in cages. You put them on an island and they'll be absolutely fine. Same as far as I know is with orangutans. That's the reason why earlier on you've seen the two ladies, 2 female orangutans, where they live. They're surrounded by water. So we're just walking around here now. I think the storage space in this phone is going to run out soon, because I'm filming everything in 4K, but well, I'll upload some of it and then you can get some more footage. So I think they're all inside, to be honest with you, because it's a bit cold for them out there. They're rather warmer climates, considering both of them come from Central Africa. Climates will be a lot warmer. Oh look, there they aren't. Right. Now, that's the issue resolved. Should be able to get the rest of today out of this phone. Should have about another 100. Should have about another 40 gig to film with. So, just gonna head around and see if we can see them. I doubt that they're in. So if they're not in, I do have some great footage of them when they were out. So I'll just play that instead. It's the same place, so. But for those of you who haven't seen it, this is their normal enclosure. There's a couple of moorhens and there's a wood pigeon over there as well.
You just said it 2 seconds ago. Pardon?
And a couple of ducks and a cow, as you were saying earlier on. We're now up the back of Dublin Zoo. So up the back of the African plains. So you got chimpanzees. Next up after this is going to be, I think the cheetah is next. I think that's where they put her. As far as I know, it's a female as well, as I said. So this used to be a side entrance into Dublin Zoo at one stage. It's gate 5, as you can see up here. Oh. Well, I'm hoping you're liking this walkthrough anyway. There'll be some music added in, so if you do, please like, share and subscribe. It'd be fantastic to have you join the channel. We're up to 755 subscribers at the moment, so hopefully we can reach 1,000 by summer. And not that I really want, like, yeah, it'd be nice, but trying to get this channel monetized. It's just, you know, to say, Grant, where all the hard work myself and Brenda are after putting into the channel. You know, all the expenses of going to the different zoos, all the zoos that we do, all comes out of our pocket, but it's for the love of the animals, to be honest with you, to try and make everybody aware of how beautiful they are and how precious life is, especially considering most of them are now endangered. Like from the likes of the snow leopard to the Amur tiger, which by the way used to be called Siberian tiger, but now they can't find them in Siberia, so they have only been spotted in around the Amur River, which is between Siberia and China. So that's the reason why they're called the Amur tiger now. I think the first one is the macaques, which is down here on the right hand side, if memory serves. And she had a new baby the last time we were here. We couldn't even really see them outside. They were all housed inside. They didn't want to go out, it was too cold. But that's their enclosure there. I'll see if they're inside. I'll put some footage up of them with the new baby. You should be big at this stage. My apologies, they're not the macaques, they're the white-collared mangabys. There, the white-collared mangabys. And I have some footage of that baby. He's after getting big. Guys, I'll do my best to try and put up some quieter footage for you. Now, next up. Last time we were up here, we couldn't see her. So hopefully this time, she's northeast African cheetah.
Just future JP here. Just completely forgot to mention that this young lady actually comes from Hollyland Park, where she was one of the pack. Because they're solitary animals, I don't actually know what to call them. Do me a favour, folks, if you do know what you call a group of cheetahs, let us know down in the comments, will you?
Well, folks, that's a new one for the channel. Up close and personal with the cheetah eating a chicken leg. Beautiful looking cat. It's one of the smallest cats. Oh, no one ever. Abyssinian ground hornbill is next. And they're actually inside, that's their enclosure. That's their enclosure there behind me. Oh, they're inside. Let's see what's next down. Down the end, of course, like you've got the reptile house and whatever else, and we'll go into that. And small monkeys, or sorry, yeah, small monkeys, such as the tamarins, and can't actually remember what else is down there. Oh, sure, we'll have a look. Next up is the turtles. Tortoise. My apologies. There they are there. Two African spawn tortoise. So the largest mainland tortoise in the world. And this spored part of them actually comes from the spore on the back legs. That's the reason why they're called that. And they're the largest, as I said, mainland tortoise in the world. Even though you've got like the Galapagos tortoise and they're a lot bigger, but they're on an island, so there you go. Them boys are on the African continent. And next up down is the red river hogs. Well, I don't think they're out either. But I have one or two videos on the red river hog up in the channel anyway, so we got some footage of them in Edinburgh Zoo. That's where it was, Edinburgh Zoo. I'll link it down in the description for you. Or I might just throw it in here because I think I have a bit of footage of them actually here in Dublin Zoo. Folks, if you are actually liking this walkthrough of the various different, like, of Dublin Zoo, and you want me to do a walkthrough of other zoos, let me know down in the comments. I'm sure the next zoo we go to, we'll do a walkthrough as well. Deer Kappa. One of my favourite animals. The fact that they look like a giraffe and they look like a zebra at the same time. Let's see. No, I can see them there, they're in the other enclosure. And we all walk down. For those of you who've stuck around this long, thanks very much for watching the video. It's going to be, I'd say, about a half an hour, 45-minute video by the time I'm actually finished editing it. I hope the sound quality is alright as well. I'm using a brand new mic, so I'll try and take out my breathing as well. I know my breathing's heavy. And that's because I used to smoke. Thankfully I gave it up. There she is there in all her glory. Going in to get warmed up and get a rest. These guys are also critically endangered. Look the way the horns actually intertwine. They've got lovely brown eyes. And beautiful brown fur. And in they go. Right, so back out onto the path. And as soon as we get down to here, at the forest path, we shall be near enough at the end. Well, there's a couple more places to go. First time I've seen most animals was in Dublin Zoo. Down at Fodder Wildlife Park as a kid, but other than that. Now guys, this is where the elephants are. Again, if they're not out, I'll put some footage I've taken before down to them. So just literally as soon as you come out of the African Plains, turn left up the hill and the Ardo. There they are there. We'll go down and see them on the other one. Be able to see them better. Be able to see the big bull elephant. They had some tragedies. A couple of them died here from a virus. So, but thankfully, the rest of them were all right. There's a big bull elephant. It's just amazing how they use their trunk as an extra hand.
Maybe elephants, but like I think it's like a your age one, like a kid one.
Guys, if you like elephants, please stick around because there's something, I'm not going to tell you now, but there's something extremely special coming up with elephants. It won't be for a while yet, but it'll be probably around the end of the year. But there is something very special coming up. A replica of what a T-Rex would look like. We wouldn't stand a chance. Snakes up there in the middle of the screen there now. You can barely see it. We've got tortoises, and there they are down there. And there's another one there. They're Vietnam turtles actually.
I don't know.
That's a big
Just goes to show how big Dilophosaurus is. Brontosaurus? Dilophosaurus? Long neck. Just goes to show how big. Well, folks, other sadly, a lot of the domesticated animals weren't out either, so I stuck in some footage of the Tamworth piglets. Also, South American house wasn't open, so. Well, folks, that's Dublin Zoo for you. Other than the meerkats, which are housed within the cafe around the corner, which I'm not going to go into. That's pretty much Dublin Zoo.
Playing TikTok.
As I said, just up there is the farm. Around there is the South African monkeys, but they're not on show. So we're gonna head out now, and my final thoughts on Dublin Zoo. It's one of the smaller ones that I've been to. Like Prague Zoo is much bigger. Chester Zoo is much bigger. Even Edinburgh Zoo is a bit bigger than Dublin Zoo. Look, it has more animals in it. But the advantage is that Dublin Zoo is pretty much all on the same level. Unlike, well, like Chester Zoo, it's all on the same level. Unlike Prague Zoo and Edinburgh Zoo, which basically have got massive hills. Price is alright. The price is €20 to get in. So I'm not there being here since 10 o'clock this morning. It's now 25 to 4. Place closed at 4 o'clock in this part of the year, so it's not too bad. I really hope you enjoyed the video. Come to Dublin Zoo. You'll always find something that you like, and staff are lovely in here, and they really take care of the animals and they love the animals. So come and support Dublin Zoo. One of the girls was saying to me that they're moving away from a zoo philosophy to more a wildlife conservation philosophy, and that's what they want. They don't want it, you know, they're trying to keep the animals, even though it's in captivity, alive, and as opposed to like the ibex, they're as far as I know, they're actually extinct. I think they're being reintroduced back into some parts of Africa, but as far as I know, other than that, they're extinct and they're only in zoos. So for the likes of that to try and reintroduce animals back into the wild in conservation areas, it's great. So that's what Dublin Zoo's main philosophy is now, as opposed to, you know, 70s, 80s and 90s. 70s and 80s, you know, you could have a cup of tea with a chimp, or you could ride on the back of an elephant. Nowadays you can't. So thankfully. Well, other than that, like to the channel would be fantastic. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, and sure, we'll see you in the next one. That's just it.